They didn't let us in the end. Chinese people don't need a COVID test. It's just foreigners do. So this is just the typical bullshit living in this country and why I'm glad I'm leaving.
超主，一直在成都，一直在中国。
可是你们的入住时间是9月22号的。
你们没有做核酸吗？
啊？
你们没有做核酸吗？我跟你说来着，我昨天跟宾馆。
Hey guys, welcome. So I'm off here on another little adventure. Here we're going to hike up to 5,050 meter peak. This is about 4 hours from Chengdu. It's called Sichuan, or Four Sisters in English. So we're gonna hike about 10 Ks to a base camp today, and then tomorrow do another like 5 Ks or so up to the top. So it's December 2nd right now, and it's damn cold. The elevation we're at in this town right now, I think, is around 2,800 meters or something like that. So it's already freezing here. So I think we're going to be in for a little bit of a surprise. We came in last night, and because my buddy was working on Friday till about 8:30, so we didn't get on the road till 9:30 or so. So we arrived at 2 a.m. and we went through a couple crazy checkpoints.
超主，一直在成都，一直在中国。
可是你们的入住时间是9月22号的。
It's always like that if you go to a Tibetan area from the regular areas in China in general. So Sichuan area is kind of regular like Han Chinese area, but then when you go west about 2 to 3 hours, it's all Tibetan area. So they usually have other checkpoints there to get in, and usually they just need to check like my green code, which says like I'm not from a high risk area, and I showed that to him, but he saw we were foreigners, and man, they freaked out. They were like, no, you can't go, like, go, turn around, go back. And so we had to try to talk to him, and then like they searched the vehicle. I mean, not extensively, but it's actually the first time in China in all my years they actually checked in the vehicle, not just for passengers, but like going through my stuff a little bit. It was kind of weird. One of the reasons I'm leaving. It's kind of, I should just be able to show it like everyone else and pass through, And the other thing that didn't help, I didn't get the nuclear test, the COVID test, basically, right before almost every weekend I have to get a COVID test before I leave. And the guy at the hostel out here said, oh no, it's fine now. You could just use your, your green code and you should be able to get through. And of course, still a hassle. And I think, a lot of the time, even when I get the test done, they sometimes still say no. So it's like it gets old going to the hospital like every Thursday morning and having to come back for the test or whatever. So, but anyway, we got through that, and then there was another checkpoint just up here a few kilometers away, and he luckily led us through. So we got a nice hotel room, and we're about to pack up. For this park, it's like a national park, so it's developed, which is good and bad. I mean, you're not off the beaten track. So there's like more tourists, or it's more organized, not always for the better, but the good thing is like you do have to have a guide, which I generally don't like, but they come with a horse, and they're not really even a guide, they're just there to walk with us to make sure we don't, go anywhere we're not supposed to or whatever. But at least he could carry most of the stuff, because going from Chengdu's elevation from like 800 meters to 2,700 meters to tonight we're going to sleep at 45 and then go up to 50. It's real short time to acclimatize. So, we're definitely going to want some help because we're going to be out of breath. So yeah, the hike up's at least not too bad. I think it's pretty gradual. There's a little bit of a bump, a little steep when you're first getting out of town, and then it's pretty gradual. I did this hike, not to the peak, but into this Haidsa Valley about 2.5 years ago or so. And so this area is definitely beautiful. I mean, it's definitely one of the big tourist type spots, but still worth going to if you're in the area. There's actually 3 valleys you can hike in. There's Shuangpingguo, which is the most kind of touristy because you can actually drive all the way in. Not on your own, you have to take a tourist bus. And you can, still hike around there a bit. And that has really nice views. And then the next one is Changping Valley, which you can't drive in. I mean, you do have to take a bus like a couple kilometers or something, but then it's all hiking. And the first 5 or 7 kilometers or so are like those wooden planks or whatever. and so that's kind of a little lame, but I can kind of understand if you have a lot of horses and people walking through an area and it's rainy, it would be all muddy, so fair enough. And then the third one, like we're going into today, is the Haize Valley, and that's probably that has the least amount of tourists. I mean, when I did that last time, I only saw a couple people out there, so that's pretty nice. There's a lake out there. Not as stunning views. Like that Chongping Valley has really stunning views of four, like, 'cause it's called Four Sisters because there's four peaks, and so that's a little bit more stunning in some ways. But the Haize Valley is nice too, and it has some nice lakes. So if you're out here, and if you have like, a week or so, you could do a couple peaks. You could do a couple of the different valleys. You could do Chongping Valley and Haize. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna pack up right now, and hopefully the horseman, the guide, comes in the next hour, and we'll see how this goes. It's I think we'll be okay in general. I'm just a little worried about altitude sickness and the cold, so we'll see how it goes.
So our horseman finally came, and we filled out all this paperwork to get into the park. You could honestly get an associate's degree or a mortgage on a house in the amount of time it takes to fill out this stuff. It's kind of a joke. But anyway, we went over to the main building, and actually there wasn't even anyone working there at first. And finally a guy came in.
Always complicated, Three. It's kind of funny, this music in the background's pretty appropriate, this sad music. They didn't let us in the end. Chinese people don't need a COVID test. It's just foreigners do. So this is just the typical bullshit living in this country, and why I'm glad I'm leaving. Because, this is just like, we called the hotel, which has good information because I've called them over the last 2.5 years, and I haven't been here because they said it's not open. I've called the park dozens and dozens of times over the last couple years, and it was officially closed to foreigners for about 1.5 years or so. It opened about 5 months ago, and then whenever there's a COVID outbreak or something, they change the rules. And so the COVID thing's over, and, it's just still like, oh, well, you do need the test, actually. And, of course, I should have gotten it because I know that this is the kind of thing. But a lot of time, even when I have a test, they don't let you in anyway. So it's just like up to some guy, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so, I don't know. I don't think there's any reason why anyone should live in a country like this where, like, there's just rules for one group and different rules for another. Now, if I just got off the plane and I didn't do quarantine and there was something, but there's huge, lengthy quarantines. Yeah, I mean, it's almost impossible to even get into the country. And they know I've been in the country for at least, what is it now, 2 years almost. So it's not, and I've been living in Chengdu. I haven't been to a high-risk area. They have all the information on the app to show, that where I've been, and basically it's green. It's fine. There's no high-risk area. I have other COVID tests. I mean, I've done like 25 COVID tests. Every weekend I basically have to do it, which is one of the reasons why I didn't even, I was pretty busy. I didn't want to go to the hospital again like I do every weekend. But yeah, that's it. And, it's kind of good. It just makes it easy leaving here. It's just like, this is just unbelievable. But, so yeah, if anyone decides to live in China, I mean, of course, things might change in a few years, but I wouldn't count on it. Not soon anyway. So he's trying to call some people, like, get some customer service or complain about, what's going on. But I mean, I don't think much is going to happen there. I've had friends and people for years try to call and be like, hey, this is racism or discrimination or whatever. And it's like, good luck. But yeah, I don't even want to go to a place that doesn't want me. Like, why close a park? Like, it'd be like closing like Yellowstone National Park to all foreign people for 1.5 years. And of course, the whole horrible thing is like we're getting the shit treatment for like the virus when, for once, obviously it didn't come from a foreign country as far as we know. And the other aspect is if you live in this country, you had to come in and do quarantine. It's almost impossible to enter. So sure, a lot of the cases are outside China. Like obviously COVID is raging outside China, and here it's very low. But that doesn't mean the people living here have COVID. None of them do, basically, right? And so, and even the small outbreaks they have are all Chinese people. I don't even see it's ever foreigners, actually. People either coming back on flights or whatever. So it's just typical. It's just like, we'll just make you the face of COVID. And people freak out every time they see us or everywhere I go, put on their masks and, you know, like like I just got off a plane from New York like 10 minutes ago or something, you know, and like so we've been here years. I've done 25 COVID tests at least. So yeah, it's just. But anyway, there's plenty of mountains around here, as you can see in the background here. So we're gonna, you know, just go to a different mountain. There's tons of stuff. This guy's got a recommendation, and I know another guy that's got some stuff going on nearby. So.
来，那行，这里。
More paperwork.
Right, we are finally setting off. We're gonna go this way. I've been here 3 times before, and I have never seen snow at the start of the trail. Usually, you know, the whole day today we won't see any snow until after base camp when we're on the summit push. So yeah, you can see the mountain up there. That's the one we're gonna climb, I think, as you can see. It's Dafeng and Arfeng. So there's a hell of a lot of snow up there. So let's see what it's like.
It's funny, they even have these little rest areas with like vending machines and stuff up here. That's funny. Super developed. So anyway, we did finally make it in with the some of Ben's perseverance and a bunch of phone calls. They actually had his phone number like just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know, about like kind of like discrimination or different issues. And I've known about it, and we've actually called people over, you know, the years at different times. You know, we had issues and stuff like that, and you know, it didn't do very much. So I didn't really invest too much time over the years. Plus, if people don't want me somewhere, I usually just go off the beaten track, because these kinds of hikes are. You know, it's not even that cheap to go in here. I mean, if I go off the beaten track, for instance, you know, obviously I'm just paying for my food and this and that. Whereas to come in here, it's $200 for that guide and the horse. Now, it's nice to have the horse carry stuff, right? But yeah, it's $200 for the guide and the horse, and then about $150 for the ticket to get in renminbi, and 25 for insurance, something else. So that's another 30, 40 bucks. So it ends up being, you know, $115 a person or something. So it's kind of like, just to deal with like all the bullshit and fill out all that paperwork and then maybe not get in. It's like, why am I going to spend over $100 for that? You know, there's amazing mountains all around here. Yeah, so we're just kind of coming up as it's getting dark. Of course, as usual, the last, you know, kilometer or so up to here's always a tough one. You got to stop a million times. We got a few kind of old houses here and some tents and things. I'm sure in summer this place is completely full of tourists. So yeah, tomorrow I guess probably go up there and then off to the right up. I think that would probably be the peak up there, I'm guessing. Yeah, it probably makes the most sense. Yeah, I'm actually not sure. I'll have to look on the map. But yeah, so yeah, we're here it's in 24 hours going up to, you know, 4,300 meters. Hopefully we don't get sick. I feel okay so far. I mean, besides the fact we're tired, of course, but it's to be expected. Yeah, so looking forward to just get some dinner. See if we're gonna sleep in these huts. I think Ben's gonna stay in the hut. I've got my tent. It's probably a good idea to stay in the hut, but we're usually not the most charming or cleanest places on earth. So if you don't mind with being half of the mice on the mountain and whatnot, it might not be bad. But so yeah, cool. Guess we're looking forward to seeing if we do it tomorrow. Yeah, so yeah, we're out here at dusk. Yeah, twilight here. Started at, I don't know, I guess around 5. It's almost 7. So yeah, we're just kind of climbing up these rocks here and kind of gonna move our way up and to the darkness.
Yeah, just amazing views up here. We're almost at the top now, and wow, just the colors there on the background, just epic. Just epic. There's the second highest mountain there in the background, 6,250 meters, Yao Mei Feng. And then we're going up the first peak, which is up here to the right. And I guess this is the second peak here, which is about 5280, I think. And then this one in the background, it looks lower, but I think it's higher, and that's about 5,500. And I've considered doing both those, but it's a little more dangerous. This one appears and is technical. Like up here it was fine, this last part, and below there it wasn't too bad. You had some cable with some stakes on both sides. So there's like 2 cables. Anyway, so it's pretty safe coming up here. Yeah, my hand's cold. It's like, I don't know, negative 10 degrees Celsius, probably 20 degrees. Sorry, I'm talking.
Hello.
Yeah, it's definitely the kind of thing I really don't appreciate. You know, it's one thing to do a photo bomb if I'm in a bar out in public or taking a picture and I could easily do it again, but I'm out there doing social commentary. I really don't want to reset that again when my hands almost frozen completely. So one of the other reasons I like to go off away from people completely, because a lot of annoying things like that could happen. That's obviously a small thing, but in general, when you go out to hotels, super noisy. If you go out camping area with a lot of Chinese, and in the very early mornings at 4:35, they're up to see the sunrise, and they're screaming as loud as they can to each other. So just keep that in mind when you do go out to these places. Here it's winter. There's only 15 people up there on the whole mountain, and someone's got to be annoying, right? So or yelling and stuff like this. So yeah, another reason why I'm off the beaten track all the time.
I'll get up here at top. Whew. It's a tough one. It's about 4 hours or so. 50-25. A little bit too bright out here, just with sunrise. Amazing view though. That's just behind me right there. The girl's having a little bit of a hard time, fair enough. It ain't easy. That's for sure. So, good job, Ben. We managed to do a pretty big accomplishment. What'd you think? Did you think you'd make it up,
Mate,
here?
I was suffering this morning. I was like, no, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, I was surprised. We got up, and from what I could listen to, it seemed like he slept okay. I mean, of course, we're both on and off. And he said, he wasn't sure most of the way going up.
I got up like 4 pisses during the night. I don't know, I just couldn't sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to go to the bathroom a few times, too. And it's like, I usually like that when I drink beers, but I didn't. So I didn't drink a ton of water. So I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, this is, I know my selfie thing doesn't get a good view. I'll get other views that you can see. But yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, to be up at 5,000 meters and not have crazy winds and stuff. I mean, this is like the lowest winds. And we had a nice guide. This guy was pretty cool. So that was good too, because sometimes I've had not the best experiences, but generally it's been okay. So anyway, we're gonna head down. I guess what time is it now? It's got to be about 8:30 or something. Yeah, so probably take us an hour and a half to get down to the hut, and then I don't know, another 3 hours down to the town or whatever. So yeah, great hike. I mean, despite all the bullshit we had to deal with coming here with the security and the paperwork and not getting in, it's cool to do this. And Ben actually did these 2 other peaks over here, just a quick view.
These 2.
Crazy ass bastards. So he's already done, yeah, those 2 there, which look pretty sick. And then, of course, he's considering in the future to do Yao Mei, which, please don't, Ben. I like you too much.
The future.
Way future. Oh, man, I would never fucking do it.
Honestly,
Same thing with that one out there.
This is the best conditions I've seen this place.
Yeah.
I'm all imagining it up. There's no wind. Look, check it out. There's nothing.
Yeah, no wind, I know. No, I know. It's either cloudy up here or super windy. And this is December 5th. I mean, it was even crazy for us to come up to 5,000 meters in winter, So we really got lucky. And yeah, hopefully we make it back to town okay. Of course, going back home is never an issue. It's just coming into these regions that are difficult. So yeah, great experience. By the way, when you're coming down a lot of these snowy sections like this,
it's a good idea to put on crampons. It's something I've generally actually never used over the years because I haven't done too much higher altitude stuff like this. But yeah, obviously if you slid down the mountain, that wouldn't be good. So these basically, as you can see here, you know, you've got all these kind of hooks and things that could get good traction when you're coming down the mountain. You could just kind of, there's a few different versions, but this one you could just basically pull around and over your boot. And yeah, it made a big difference. I just used them for honestly the first time in my life, and yeah, it's definitely more safe to do that. So I'd recommend that. But yeah, it was just me and him in here, so you know, nothing spectacular, but spending all the effort and time of pitching the tent in the snow, not super good. So yeah, heading out now. Got about 10 Ks down, so oh man, I need the sunglasses, huh? Yeah, so we finally got down to the bottom around 3:30 here. We're about to drive back to Chengdu, maybe get some food first. And yeah, it was a pretty great trip. I mean, I'm super exhausted.
Hey guys, so we got back all right on Sunday around 7 o'clock or so. We luckily didn't get any altitude sickness. We luckily took Diamox, which is a prescribed drug for altitude sickness. So even before I started climbing, I took that, because otherwise I don't think there would have been any way we would have been able to do that and not have any issues. So I do recommend, if you're going to do something that short of a period of time, you definitely need some altitude medication or something. Otherwise you would need 2 or 3 days to do a hike like that. So just know that for any future reference, if you don't go up to 15,000 feet that quick, okay? Yeah, the only other thing, I wish I actually had more drone footage. I love my drone. I got the Mavic Mini, DJI Mavic Mini. It's super small. It's only 250 grams, and you could just attach it to your phone super easily and just download the app and stuff. And I got everything. You could just keep it in a little box here, basically. So I bring it when I'm hiking and stuff. And if you want to up your game and make some cool videos, you definitely need to have a drone. And that's probably the best, smallest drone you could get. The only bad thing about it is that, like on this trip, I wanted to get those high altitude shots. And when you're up over like 15,000 feet, or even when I'm around 4,000 meters, like 12,000 feet, it can act a little funny. And in this case, I think it was the cold, because the battery was frozen, you know, overnight in the bag. And so when I went out there and tried to use it, I got a little bit of that shot, and then it was kind of acting like real funny. So I got it back, because obviously if you lose it on the mountain, you know, I'm not going to get it back. So always remember to get insurance if you do get a drone, no matter what, too. You can check the policies, but you're going to lose one. Yeah, so I totally recommend the DJI Mavic Mini 2. I have the first version. The second version is pretty much the same, except you've got 2 or 3 extra options. I think a little stronger propellers and stuff. And that's good for everyone doing like basic kinds of things. Now, if you're doing some of the high altitude or like high winds or like, you know, kind of extreme weather environments, you might want to go for like the Mavic Air 2 or something else, which those are more like $700-800. The Mavic Mini is like, I think, about $400 or $500. So good starter drone, gets you in the game to get some, you know, good shots and stuff like that, and just learn how to operate the kind of equipment. So anyway, I'll put some links also below for some of the equipment I use or recommend. Some of the equipment in China might be a little different, so I'll try to find the best thing online that might be decent. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to head out next week to Jiuzhaigou and Huanglong, which is a couple of the most beautiful places in China, actually, in northern Sichuan near Gansu. And I'll try to have some cool footage and stuff. That place is a little touristy, so I usually don't try to head out there, but I've got a group that wants to go, so I figured I'd hit it up. So anyway, I hope you liked the video, and like and subscribe if you did, and I hope to see you next time. Cheers.